Hi there, this is Aaron. Today is Saturday the 17th of May and it's day 50 on the allotment. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. It's a little after midday, maybe 1:30, and well, it's such a change from last weekend when I was here. I did try and do some filming, but when I got here, the wind had knocked a lot of things off of the shelves in the greenhouse, and it was largely, too windy to work. I mean, I couldn't even fix what was wrong in the greenhouse, because if I'd have opened the door, it would have just blown away. So largely, I just had to leave it and hope that it was going to blow out. What I did do, I started to look around at what to do outside, and I managed to work on my runner beans, and I took some footage of how I prepared for that. What I've been doing is trying to work out how I'm going to arrange both my beans and my peas around these broad beans. I've also been along here and I've pinched out the tops. What I was told is that black fly comes up from Europe in the first week of June. Well, I think with our sort of not very severe winter and the good weather we have been having, that actually they've booked their holidays early this year, have got on Ryanair, and they've arrived here on the plot. Yes, I haven't got any yet, but a couple of the other plot holders have said they have, so I've been round and I've pinched out the tops of all of these. So let's take a look around now at the rest of the allotment and see where we got to for the end of last weekend and the beginning of this one. Starting in the greenhouse, I hope you can see this. The hottest it's been in here is 108, and it's 95 right now, nearly 96. And the lowest it's dropped since I reset this is 51. So pretty hot in here. During the winds, a lot of things got knocked off, and you can see the mess on the floor. I've cleared up as well as I can. These Brussels sprouts didn't get knocked off, but the wind was so high that I literally could not get in here. If I had tried to open the door, that the whole thing would have been ripped apart. Some of the rods from the top were pulled out. Lots of plants, particularly on this side, were knocked off. Curiously enough, this is the chilli plant that was nibbled by the cat, and actually this is the one that's fared best. Mainly because there wasn't that much of it left, and so it's put all of its energy into sort of making itself bushy. This may actually turn out to be the best chilli plant I've got. These are two of the new lemon drop chilies. They were okay. Now, things that were next to this filing cabinet, and indeed things on top of it, stayed in place. They were not pushed off. Same with these French beans that I planted now 2 weeks ago, and some of those are absolutely firing along. I'm really pleased with these French beans. This is a tray. Now, some of what was in here was celery, some of what was in here was cucumbers. All of it got knocked on the floor. I think it's an absolute mess. It's dried out. It's really not happy. I've just put it in water to see if anything will recover. I don't actually expect it to, and I think this is all sort of finished. Now, quite amazingly, I have 2 more pumpkins. I'm quite excited actually, because the 2 new ones are the jack-o'-lantern variety. This first one, which is actually larger, is the alleged giant pumpkin, and these 2 are now jack-o'-lanterns. So hopefully, as long as I can keep looking after these, and these were knocked on the floor, so I'm going to have a job to keep these alive. Hopefully these are going to continue to recover, so that I'll have 3 strings of pumpkins to put out. These also got knocked on the floor. There's a chilli plant, a lemon drop. There is what I think is a cabbage, but it was all mixed up and I don't really know for sure. And then there are my 3 cucumbers and another what I think is a cabbage, but I don't actually know because they're all mixed up now. Now the cucumbers are recovering and they're actually looking quite good. The chilli plant was looking a bit sorry for itself. I've given that some water. I'm going to take that out because obviously that does not want to be in water too long. And we'll see if we can save any of these. Down here, I mean, this is one of the pots that got knocked over. They've all roasted in here as well. So, you know, you've had the high wind and then you've had the roasting temperature. I've given these water. Maybe they will recover, maybe they won't. Most of these are cabbage. Some of these might be broccoli, that might be cauliflower, I really don't know. But you see here a lot of these are just sort of dead. So a combination of high heat and the wind knocking them about and knocking them over has really made these suffer. So I think we're going to have to start some brassicas all over again. Now on this side of the greenhouse, these are my leeks we're looking at. And they have survived. I came in here and they were a bit dry, but they're looking okay. We haven't yet got to this pencil thickness that everyone's talking about. But I have hopes for them. I've given them some water, so hopefully we'll get a bit of green back in them. So we'll see what happens. I've also given water to the other leeks that I've got in single pots, and they seem to be doing okay. These again did not get knocked off because the filing cabinet stopped them. So leeks, actually, we should get something out of this. Now what is curious is these onions, because these onions actually are pencil thickness now. Let me put a pencil next to some of these. And you can see that, yeah, they are definitely ready to go out, but as you're about to see, my onions that are planted out in what will be my onion patch are not ready to come up yet. So I need these to hang on just a little bit longer. Underneath, and you know, this actually came through it okay, this Lola Rosa. It started to turn green away from red. Now some of them are in there and they're still red. This one has started to turn away and green. What does that mean? Does that mean it's actually ready before it's even been put in the ground? I should probably pot on my other Lola Rosa. And also these little gems look as if they're ready to be potted on as well. I still haven't got this brassica bed ready. So I hope I'm not going to run out of time with these particular brassicas, but I'm definitely cutting it fine. This is my other Lola Rosa that I did pot out, and I've given all of these a drink because they were all starting to look a little bit sort of faded. We can only hope really that it's going to recover, but again this one has started to turn green and I'm wondering if it's actually ready and I should just cut it off and take it home. See what I'll look it up this evening and maybe do that tomorrow. And this is the rest of the chilies. Some of these, it's a real shame, got knocked on the floor. Others have been gently roasting away. Now I know that chilies quite like high temperatures, but they should have had some water before they did. And of course they wouldn't have liked being knocked about. So yeah, it's definitely chilli hospital for a little while. This is another one of the larger chilies that came down, and this one's doing all right. This one didn't get knocked over. It has got chilies on. It seems as if it's still got life in it, so I'm pleased about that. I'm thinking that I can probably nurse this one back to health. If you remember, there were 3 chilli plants that I brought down. This was actually the most advanced one, and this is another one that got knocked down. I've given this water and I've actually got this outside in the air. It's very, very warm at the moment, so hopefully it will like that. But as you can see, this one's really started to shrivel up. It didn't have the water it needed, it got a bashing, and it's got chillies on it, which I'm hoping I'm not going to lose. So let's see if this one will come back to life. I'm going to look after this one quite carefully. Staying with the subject of chillies, these are my other chilli plants, including last year's Scots bonnet and some more of the lemon drops that I've brought home. I mean, we are now past May 15, and I think that means that we're going to have some really good weather now. And so I'm going to bring the chillies down so that they can be in the greenhouse and get some nice all-day sun rather than just the morning sun that they're getting at the moment. And I'm hoping that that's going to help them to grow. The strawberries I've just watered, and they are going great guns. It's quite incredible how much these have grown, and it's very, very obvious that I need somewhere to plant these out too. Well, let's see. If we get strawberries, brilliant. Which only really leaves my sunflowers. Now, some of them I've lost. 2 of them I've now lost. But 4 of them are growing up, and growing up quite quickly actually. So I might get a sunflower or 2. The other experiment was this cabbage, this red cabbage, and that really likes it out here. So I think all of the cabbages should be outside now. But obviously I need to protect them from slugs. I did manage to tie up the broad beans through the gale, and as you see, most of them saved. I did lose some, but I tied them up. I think another time what I need is that green wire fencing to go around them, as that'll be far more effective than all of these canes and yards and yards and yards of string. So I'll make sure that I've got some green wire fencing to keep the broad beans up next year. What I did manage to get done, and if you take a look at these, I've got these wigwams set up. There's actually 5 of them set up in total, but 3 of them I've set out with my runner beans. My runner beans are in, and as you can see, they're looking quite healthy. So there's 18 of these in total, which is probably going to mean I have millions of runner beans, but I actually really enjoy runner beans, so I'm not worried about that. What I also did was start to put the pea supports in as well, and they're along here too, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get the peas planted today because I also want them to be out. And here are the peas, all ready to be planted out. I'm going to plant these in the ground, and I'm also going to plant new pea seeds with them so that hopefully I've got successive planting. They're definitely ready for it. And here is my white currant, still growing up. No sign of white currants, and I suspect I'm not going to get white currants this year, but as long as I can get a healthy plant, then hopefully it's established so that I can have them next year. It's the same story with my red currant. Nice colour in the leaves, doing well. I've made sure everything's had a water, so very, very pleased with that. What I knew it was going to happen. With the raspberries, the couch grass is growing back, and they'll probably survive. But part of the problem is that I can't dig this couch grass out without digging the raspberries out as well. And I think that that's probably a really good idea at the end of this year to dig both the raspberries and the couch grass out. Maybe put them somewhere where they're in clean soil, and also get rid of this once and for all. Rhubarb is not happy. Rhubarb has got leaves being eaten from little middle bits, so it's not from the edges, it's not slugs. Online people are saying that this is a Japanese beetle, and it's getting stuck into these. I've also got weeds growing back. I need to put some cardboard down to suppress this and pull out what's there. It's amazing how quickly it all comes back. It wasn't as bad as this a couple of weeks ago, and then woof, So you've got to keep on top of this stuff. Here are the onions, the elephant garlic, all through this bed. I'm pleased. The mulch is starting to dry out. I need to put some more mulch on. That's not a long job, and it does seem to be keeping the weeds down. So yeah, pleased about that. Here's the garlic. Same story here. The mulch is working, and the garlic is really liking it. It's nice and green. Obviously it's got some yellow leaves where it's drying a little bit, but I'm making sure they're getting water as well. Not too much, but not overly either. And yeah, very pleased with this. So as you can see, the storm gave us a bit of a thump. Some things didn't do very well, other things have recovered. I'm still very positive, and I believe I can claw back what I've lost. So it's just a matter of me getting on with things, which is what I'm going to do. Well, what I've done here is just in front of the broad beans, as you can see here, I've planted out all of the peas. These are the Kelvedon Wonder peas. Now, I had the plants ready. I had 24 plants, which are all now in the ground, and then between each of them I've put the rest of the Kelvedon Wonder seeds. Now I've just put them straight in the ground with some fish blood and bone and the coir that was around the other plants, and I've put them in, in the dice configuration like they say. So now what I'm going to do is these stakes that are in front, I'm going to tie them off and then put a net for the peas to climb up, and I'm hoping that they are close to each other, that they're all going to tangle around each other as they make it up the net. And there are the Kelvedon Wonder peas, planted, watered, all of the seeds, and now with the netting. This is a netting that I got from Poundland, and it says pea net, so I figured, okay, it should work. So I've put the pea net over them. Hopefully that's also going to keep the birds off. It is longer and it can spread all along there, because I do have another variety of peas that I'm also going to plant. But for now, the Kelvedon Wonder peas are all planted. And with that, that really does bring us to the end of Saturday. It took a while to go through and work out what all the damage was. Then it took a while to work out, what was going to be the best way to put the peas in, the netting, and get it all together. So that's what I managed to achieve today. I will be back here tomorrow though, and I shall see you next time on The Allotment. Goodbye.